Oh boy. Here we go again. So I'm just wasting time before I have prog today, so I'm just gonna be playing on one of my alts. Um, I have a bunch of alts. I'm not gonna disclose all of them, but one of them is one of my favorite characters ever. You'll see who it is. I'm just hoping that I have my HUD set up properly, so I'm gonna be messing around fixing that up first before I do anything. Okay, there we go. Oh my god, this alt I've barely touched. My HUD is so messed up. So sorry about this. This is gonna take a bit of a moment, bit of a while. Um, is this? I think this is gonna be it. All right. So it is time to show you exactly who I'm gonna be playing as today. That's right. It's Mr. Sidurga himself. Mr. Edgy McEdgelord Dark Knight. And yes, he does have his chocobo called Frey. I haven't gotten around to dyeing it. And yeah. So, obviously this isn't beginning at the start of Endwalker, because I've been procrastinating on him for quite literally years. But yeah, I believe this is past Vanna's body. So yeah, hopefully we can get to the end of Elpis today with him before Prague, but we'll see. I love how he walks. Let me hide that while we're in cutscene. Should I read these out? Probably should, shouldn't I? We who survive them must carry the weight of their memory as we strive to regain a semblance of what we have lost. Karasaf and Mevan. Mevan? Yeah, Mevan's babe is a child of Thavner as well. I thank you for returning her to us safe. O most great and merciful worm, I have not the words to express my gratitude. They say that if it were not for you, brave Matsya and the child would have been lost to us forever. Long had I heard the rumors that a mighty dragon had forged a pact of friendship with the satrap, but never would I have expected such a kind and gentle soul. Truth in part, but not in whole. I am Vitra, and for years uncounted hath this isle served as mine abode. An isle I have ruled over as satrap, with Ahawan as my loyal servant. Are my ears to be believed? You were the true satrap all along? Nidana, what are you doing here? I heard from the Radiant that you had gone to help the people of Palika stand in their time of need. And so I and several of my colleagues from the Great Work came to offer our services. The alchemists have already brewed up some potions for Mavan's daughter. But enough about us. You and your role are the far greater enigma. If you were the true satrap all along, could it be that young Varshan was created to serve as your emissary? Thou didst suspect that boy was but a simulacrum. Oh my god. His dialogue's gonna be difficult to read out. Thou didst suspect the boy was but a simulacrum. A rumor has circulated for many years around the High Crucible that our most skilled alchemists were once commissioned by the satrap's family in secret to fashion a mammoth indistinguishable from a living boy. Looking at Varshan with that knowledge, I simply put two and two together. I was not alone in drawing this conclusion, but like me, they no doubt recognized that the satrap was using the simulacrum to work more closely with his people and decided not to press the issue. I had always assumed one of Ahawan's associates was manipulating it from afar, though the truth is indeed far more surprising. It is an honor to meet you in the flesh, Master Vitra. Pray, allow me to express my gratitude. If you had not believed in and given unto us your scales, I do not know where we would be. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart. 'Twas thou and thy fellow alchemists that fashioned the means to unmake the towers. You were the saviors not only of Razahan, but the star. Far too kind you are, Master Vitra. But the star yet wants for salvation. Once more will my colleagues and I commit the knowledge and resources at our disposal to the mission of aiding the people in this, their darkest hour. 'Twould seem this place is in good hands. I would return to see how Razahan fares. What will you do, Scions? I worry for the survivors we met at Perusa. Shall we pay them a visit before making our way back? In that case, may I ask a favor? Nothing too burdensome, I promise. This way. I love that Estinian is just so silent throughout all of this. Oh, Sidurgu. Running through that dark jungle, there was a time when I thought all was lost, had Master Vitra and Estinian not arrived when they did. No, I must focus on the good. Mivan's precious daughter is safe and sound, and that's all that matters. Vitra chose to reveal his identity to the villagers of Palika Stand before all others. A wise choice, considering the warm reception. He even seemed a little relieved. It remains to be seen how the people of Razahan will take the news, but if this was any indication, he need not worry. What a lovely aroma. I wonder what sort of spices those are. That looks kind of spicy. Sure you can handle that, little white girl? Curious, isn't it? The burning sky is so ominous, yet the crackling flames here are somehow calming. Needs to simmer just a little longer, I'd say. In the meantime, I was hoping I might ask you a few questions. The red sky... Oh. Oops, forgot about that. The red sky, these terrible beasts. What in the name of the sisters is happening here in Thavnir? Oh my, that's rather a lot to take in. It would seem the situation is even more grave than we suspected. Thank you, friend. My colleagues and I will use your knowledge to see if it can further our own research. And with that, here we are. A pot of piping hot chai brewed from my own secret recipe of spices and tea leaves, together with hearty helpings of rich milk and purest sugar. That does sound really good, though. I've made enough for everyone in the village. Might I trouble you to deliver a few cups? The drink has medicinal properties, then? Not in the least. The ingredients are quite ordinary. It's so very tasty, though, and has a way of lifting the spirits. The spicy aroma and distinctive sweetness of chai is a simple, everyday pleasure on our island. Sometimes the best medicine is the simplest. A lovely sentiment, Nidana. By all means, allow us to assist. While you lot distribute hot beverages, I'll do a sweep for errant beasts to slay. A far less arduous task, no doubt. When you finish, look for me at the wakeful Torana. Oh, Sidurgu. Oh. Okay, there's no change to his dialogue. I'd be most obliged if you could deliver a few cups of chai to the villagers. I'm certain it will do much to soothe their aching bodies and heavy hearts. Okay, I guess we begin. I could RP walk the entire time. Drag this out even longer. Look at them all lazing about, knowing full well the beasts might strike again at any moment. Do they not realize their lives are in danger? Well, I, for one, intend to survive. I'm too young to die. Yes, I'll leave this island behind if I must. But where would I go? Is anywhere safe these days? A mug of piping hot chai brewed from aromatic tea leaves, flavored with Nidana's secret blend of herbs and spices, then mixed with rich milk. That sounds so good. I'd love to have some chai right now. A cup of chai? Can't you see that I have more important things to worry about? No, you're right. It is precisely in times like these that we must strive to remain calm and steady. I do believe I'll visit the elder and see what needs to be done. If there is any way I can aid my village and my friends, I will do it. Yeah, Lise seems to have things in hand over here. The aroma of that chai is truly is irresistible. Do you suppose Nidana would mind if I helped myself to a cup? She probably wouldn't mind. Glad that these people seem to be having fun. Okay, where's the next dude? You'd think that with the many times that I played through this, I'd remember where everyone is, where everything is, but nope. I have the memory of a goldfish. Wait, I know you. You're the one to save us from those beasts back at the temple. Were it not for you, well, let's not even think about that. At times like this, we mustn't dwell on what might have been, but look to the future. But what future awaits us? How can Razahan hope to recover from this? Most of my friends are gone, and I don't know where to turn. A cup of chai? Well, if you insist. That aroma has a way of clearing the mind. Come to think of it, we've faced our fair share of trials in the past as well. And no matter how hard the times, we've always come together as a people united. One day at a time, one step at a time, for that is all any of us can do. Yes, back to work, once I finish this cup. Thank you. Where's this last person? Am I blind? I think I'm blind. There they are, up there. I'm sorry. I just want to be left alone. My best friend and I, we fled the village together. One of the beasts took command, and it was all I could do to run. All the while, I could hear this monstrous voice screaming my name. Hmm? Is this for me? We used to drink chai together often, shared stories over steaming cups after a hard day's work. Thank you, friend. The pain may never pass, but I must press on all the same. For his memory, and for we who must remember. Endwalker, man. I know we are beset by monsters, beasts, and worse, but if you've even an ounce of strength to give, I would ask for your aid. I am in need of a brave soul to help patrol the area in search of any lost refugees. I would ask my brothers and sisters of the Radiant Host, but our numbers have been greatly diminished. It is all we can do to keep the darkness from swallowing the settlement whole. Very good. It shall be heartening... Whoops. Heartening to have another warrior by my side. Let us commence at once. Whoops. Didn't mean to just pass through that without even finishing. Oh, Elvino's up here. Let's see what he has to say. I heard that the survivors we met in the temple have all returned safely. The crisis may not have passed, but being home and amongst friends should do much to ease their spirits. Ah, what luck! You look capable of braving the jungles unscathed. Would you help me search for a group of refugees I've become separated from? Today I can't speak. As the chaos unfolded around us, I fled in the direction of Agama Temple along with a few others. There, one of those terrible beasts fell upon us, and I lost track of my group in the chaos. While I was able to make my way here, none of the others have, and I worry for their safety. I would like nothing more than to search myself, but all hands are required to defend this place. Agama Temple is to the west. Please, journey there and guide anyone you can find back here. I only hope that some manage to survive the madness. Okay, let's do these side quests, and then we can do the main quest. We should begin our patrol by heading south, a route through which many refugees from Yedlimad, it's such a difficult word to say for some reason. Pass. We will cover more ground if we split into two groups. If you should find anyone in need, go to their aid. And if you discover any discarded effects, collect them for safekeeping. And if you should encounter one of those terrible beasts, slay it where it stands. Once we've made a thorough search of the area, let us rendezvous back here. Godspeed. There's something really funny about seeing Sid in a bike. You see a strange statuette lying on the ground depicting a woman wearing a beastly mask. It may be best to collect it. And yes, he does have a yol because he's from the Azim Steppe. Oh, is it gone? Thank the gods. I would have surely died without your help. What are you doing out here? I see. So the Radiant Host looks over us yet. For that I'm grateful. Well, I suppose if I follow the path you took to get here, I should be safe on my way back. You didn't leave anything alive, did you? Good luck. I did leave many things alive. Okay, where's this last one? Look at him. You survey the area but detect nothing out of the ordinary. Okay. We just need to head back there, and I think we can turn in this quest. It's kind of sad that the Ishgard role quest is casters only. Can't do that as Sid. Welcome back. I've heard all about your noble deed. Allow me to thank you for protecting those we cannot. I'd add my thanks to hers. If not for you, I'd be nothing but food for the beasts. You've more than earned a reward for your time. Speak with me again at Palika Stand, and I'll ensure that you get it. Okay, time to do this one now. This is probably the one I like the least in Thavnair's current quests. Hopefully I still remember the way to cheese it. Otherwise I will just cry. I am glad that they've nerfed quite a lot of the stuff in Endwalker. Oh, hi there, Key. Have you been? Glad to see you around. Who are you? Are you here to save me? Of course, I knew she wouldn't forget about us. The beast prowled the area for some time, but I managed to find refuge amongst these rocks. However, I've been too frightened to set foot for their shelter for fear of drawing the attention of some hungry animal. But with you here, I believe I can find the courage. Will you accompany me to Palika Stand? Thank you. Now, let us tread carefully. Okay, time for the most annoying escort quest. Something here doesn't want us. Okay, keep up, kid. Yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff to get prepared. I'm fine, thank you. A bit sleepy, but here I am. Today we're both members of the Sleepy Bitch Club. Okay, hopefully he doesn't aggro these things. Okay, we're good. It's a very exclusive club, where only sleepy bitches may be. And yep, I'm very glad that I managed to remember how to cheese this. Sid would be so annoyed doing this entire thing. I don't know how to thank you. You saved my life. Pay me. Just pay me money. Please tell that brave woman from the Radiant Host that I have arrived safe and sound. I must think of a way to repay your bravery. Yeah, I've been procrastinating on a lot of my alts. Other than my main character, I have like 21 alts. And all of them need to go through the main story. And I've been procrastinating on them. So I thought about just working on one of them for now. The work ahead of us is vast, and any lives we may save are precious indeed. All I came across in my patrol was discarded belongings and scattered luggage. Did you find anything else of note? The Manusia statuette. I recognize this figure. Doubtless you are curious as to what it depicts. There is a legend that tells of a Manusia goddess who sought the strength of the Murga, wresting her own head from her body and replacing it with the bestial pat of the Murga. In pursuit of knowledge did a Murga do the same, replacing his own head with that of a Manusia. Thus were born divine beings gifted with both strength and wisdom, heralding an age of untold peace. One of the refugees must have dropped this in their flight. This figure is a reminder that the most insurmountable hardships can be overcome by looking beyond the bounds of a tribe for help. A figure so fine was likely beloved by its owner. I shall do what I can to see it return to them. Thank you for your help today, traveler. Sid just wants to be paid. He's not paid enough for this. Came out of Ishgard looking for work, only to find himself, not being paid. I watched your arrival. I recognized that man from the group I was with, and I'm overjoyed to see him safe. Thank you for escorting him here. Truly, you are worthy of the reputation you've earned. I dare say even Agama would be awed by your bravery. He was a storied mendicant of the Arkasodara. When the Heroes landed ashore this island and war broke out, he spared no effort to save the lives of all who were injured in the conflict. He saw no tribes, only those in need. He is not so different from you, who throws himself into the maw of danger to save someone they've never met. If Agama's spirit lives on today, it is through your selfless deeds. Take this as a reward, although I have no doubts you would deny it if I let you. No, Sid wants that reward. Once my watch has ended, I shall patrol the woods in search of any more hiding amongst the trees. Hi, Matsuya. Do you have anything changed? Nope. No change in his dialogue. Thank you for delivering the chai, Sudoku. Did it help to lift the villagers' spirits? Sure did. That is heartening to hear indeed. The final days show no signs of abating, but that is all the more reason that we must try to keep our composure. Our lives have been forever changed. The people we have lost will never return to us. These tragedies will long weigh on our hearts. But we have the capacity to live with our suffering, to carry the agony till we too join the fallen in death. It is not a surrender, but a recognition, for it is only in acceptance that we find the strength to move forward. Wait, did I not get all the ether currents here? I'm missing one? Okay, I'm gonna grab that before I continue. All the way south. I thought I'd grabbed everything, but apparently not. If it's south, it's probably the one right here. How did I grab the one by the pool, but not grab the one down there? What was I doing the last time I was on him? There really is always just one ether current that you always miss. I was right. I sure hope I attuned to Palika's stand. That would be really sad if I didn't. Okay, that's good. Okay. You can now fly here. Yay! As you have finished your deliveries, might I talk with you for a moment? I was curious to know, what has become of Mavan and Karasaf's remains? Oh, thank you, friend. Surely they'll be able to rest peacefully by each other's side. I and the people of Palika's stand will perform the rites as soon as we are able. But as for the child, it will not be easy for her, growing up without her parents, but I promise to do what I can. Once she is able to eat solid food, the fish I catch will help nourish her. Matsuya is such a pure little soul. He's such a good kid. We finished delivering the chai. I do believe everyone has a piping hot cup. I could almost believe there was a magic at work, how their tension fades with every sip. Let us pray that Palika's stand has seen the last of those transformations, at least for now. They are still at risk, as every village in Zavnir like as not. Still, I can trust we can leave this place in the care of our friends from the Radiant and the High Crucible. Shall we return to Razahan? Garbage can fish? Hopefully not. Hopefully Matsuya is able to actually catch his fish instead of finding it in a trash can. By all means, do not let us keep you further. There are still many who have need of your wisdom and strength to deliver them from this terrible calamity. And I will do what I can as well. I'll bring rations and supply from Akyali. We have plenty to spare. Then let us find Estinian and be on our way. Where did he wander off to again? He got lost. The Wakeful Torana? Near the bridge to Razahan, as I recall. Very well then. Time for Sid to go back onto babysitting duty. Oh, hi, Elon. Hopefully it doesn't aggro me while I'm here. I have apprised Estinian of the situation at Palika's stand, so we needn't have that conversation. Thanks, Alphino. How do you suppose the others have fared in the capital? I hope things have not been too eventful in our absence. Alphino told me everything. Full glad am I to hear the people are safe. Likewise, you'll be pleased to know I've found no evidence of lingering beasts in the jungle and ruins. 'Twould seem you have finished off the last of them. Trying times yet lie ahead for the people of Thavner. Fortunately, they have a wise and benevolent satrap to shepherd them through. Speaking of which, I have received word from Thancred not a short while ago. He awaits our return to the city on Alzadal's path. Come. Estinian hell of a ride, Wormblood. No preference. A sad day. He has to run everywhere. That's Mr. Thancred. 'Twill be a struggle for the people to come to terms with these tragedies. Tragedies, I mean. But they're far stronger than you may think. The poor old woman who became a beast said her grandson had gone to Palikistan. I hope he survived. There's a lingering sense of desolation here, but that is much preferable to the panicking chaos we saw before. I'm not reading these lines properly. It is good to see you safe. Given the skies, 'tis all too easy to fear the worst. I'm pleased to report we have succeeded in quelling the threat here in the city. The beasts have all been felled, and the citizens are safe for now. I have also heard from the Radiant that an important proclamation will be made in the city square, though they said no more than that. Might you have any idea what this is about? Yeah, Vitra's gonna show himself off as a satrap. So Vitra's finally coming out from behind the curtain. I suppose we too should hear what he has to say? To Megadita then, but before that, it would appear that word of the assembly has not reached all of the citizens. If anyone along the way seems unaware, we'd best enlighten them. I'm sure everyone will hear about it soon enough, but those who don't attend will be kicking themselves later for missing what's certain to be a historic moment. Yeah, reading things out is not an easy job. Voice actors really do deserve all of the credit. It's not easy work. And to make it sound believable and also act it out. Are all the beasts gone? I've been hiding and I'm too scared to go out and look. Yep, they're all dead. Oh, that's a relief. I thought one of those beasts was going to eat me. I wonder where Roshan is. He's the slowest runner. I hope he got away. You know, Varshan didn't get away. He could be with the other people from the palace. Maybe I'll see him in the square. You try to do the voices? I mean, I feel like I should try as well, but my voice, I feel, is a little bit too high-pitched and too soft to be able to, do anything other than a certain subset of voices. So I generally just don't try. I am low effort. Leave me be, please. I swear to you, my flesh tastes absolutely terrible. He might be an aura, but aura are not uncommon here. That's vaguely racist, kid. Oh, gods, what are you doing scaring me like that? If we're not quiet, those beasts will find us. The square, you say? But that's where the satrap was killed. With my very eyes, I saw him crushed in that creature's maw. So many lives lost. Such terrible carnage. And you say there's someone else who would lead Raza Han in his stead? Whoever they are, if they say anything to sully the memory of our beloved satrap, I'll make them regret it. It's time for Vitra to make his grand debut. He's coming out as a member of a boy band. It would seem the people have some lingering doubts, and I cannot blame them. Yet we know what strength is afforded to us. With one of the first brood on our side, I have faith the citizenry will come to understand and accept him in time. Worm and man, working towards a common goal. This dude really has no thoughts in his brain apart from worms and dragons. Look at that face. He has 0 thoughts. The half of a brain cell that he does have is just focused on dragons. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that my voice, I guess is easy to listen to. I love Estinian, but he really doesn't have any brain cells in there. Look at him! His stare is so blank. I hear you were able to bring the situation at Palika's stand under control. Every life lost is a tragedy, but you should take pride in doing what you could. When I assumed command during the panic earlier, I did so instinctively and out of necessity. 'Twas not my place to give orders, but I'm glad the people heeded them. But now they have need of a true leader, a magnanimous and just satrap who can guide them every step of the way. Fortunately, they are blessed with one such soul. If anyone can protect and guide them through this calamity, it is he. This dude's tired of being a city's leader. Little Guahatia. Little man. Look at him, he wants uppies. He is so short. Can you move out the way, Moogle? Look at him. Tiny little man. Tiny little baby man. I love playing Aura. They are so tall. People are slowly making their way here, but many are still gripped by fear and doubt. Hopefully, Vritra's message of hope will resonate strongly enough with the ones willing to listen, and spread to every corner of Thavnir. Welcome back, Sidurgu. Alphino told me everything. I was pleased to hear that Vitra has chosen to reveal himself at last. The people of Razahan need a strong and wise satrap more than ever. Did I talk to him? I don't remember if I did. Finished rounding up the stragglers? The proclamation will begin shortly. Let's wait here, lest we miss something important. She's also tiny. Look at her. Mikote are all so short. Amazing. Do we also have tiny baby man perspective of Alphino? Alphino does not deem us worthy of being looked at. What about Alize? Hello, child. Little daughter. Yeah, Sidurg is pretty tall. I think I can't remember if he was max height or not, but he's definitely more than his height scale is above the midway point for sure. Okay, let's actually progress MSQ now. With his fangs like that, Beecher can't see anything in front of him. I have never noticed how short Aura children are compared to here children. Here children really are high schoolers. There is actual lore reasons why male aura and female aura have such different heights. Like, they have such an extreme sexual dimorphism. But we don't talk about that, they're just lizards. I always forget how much I dislike Fortunal. He took they with his character they definitely took him a little bit too far to the extreme of wanting to save the world by sacrificing those closest to him. I find that the writers really like that kind of character where they try to justify a really extreme point of view by saying, oh, it was actually because they really cared about them, or, oh, it's not so bad, look at this worse person. Proportional did not deserve a méliance. She could have gotten something so much better. Is this the end of the cutscene? Nope, still ongoing. Huh. In Japanese, it's Akasha? Never realized that. Dynamis. I love the convenient destruction of the Elpis flower. Y'shtola is the opposite of a morosexual. She only ever smiles whenever she bumps into someone with a theory. Morosexual. Morosexual. As far as we have come, and after all the horrors we have seen, there is still so much we do not know about the final days. Could it be as Nadana said, that the cause of this phenomenon is beyond our comprehension? And if so, are we powerless to forestall it? Leveled up. Greetings, honored scions of the Seventh Dawn. I have a message from His Excellency the Satrap. Brave scions, you have my gratitude for aiding my people in this most trying of times. Alas, matters here at Megaduta prevent me from meeting you all in person. As a token of mine appreciation, I've arranged a feast to be held in your honor. May it nourish you in preparation for the trials ahead. Such are the words of Master Vitra. The feast he speaks of awaits you at Merid's Mayhan. Merid's Mayhan. Pray make your way there whenever your business here is done. We thank you for your kindness. Indeed, I was hoping you might find a place to discuss our next course of action, and that seems like an ideal venue. Ah, and to you, Sidurgu Obsidian Heart. There is someone we had hoped to introduce to you in particular. While I'm loath to detain you further, might you spare a moment of your time? A personal invitation, knowing full well your services are in the highest demand right now? This must be important. Worry not, we'll save some food for you, so take all the time you need. Alize is gonna eat all of the food, isn't she? Thank you, friend. Whenever you are ready, please join me at the Aetheryte Plaza. I shall go on ahead. Can I finally attune? Can Sid finally come to Razahan without a problem? Also, if you are curious, I have his minion as a Moogle, with the idea that he cannot see the Moogle behind him. He has no idea he's being stalked by a Moogle. Access to the Aetheryte you see there has been restricted to a select few ever since the tower first appeared. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience, but it was deemed too dangerous to permit the free movement of visitors at a time of emergency, a risk we could not take. In light of recent developments, however, the Satrap has decided that such restrictions would only hinder our efforts to combat the final days. As such, I would encourage you to attune with the Aetheryte before proceeding along the corridor. Moogles are cute, Kupo. Sid absolutely hates them, though. He would see them burn in hellfire if he could. And yeah, Runar's has no luck whatsoever with Y'shtola. He's not smart enough for her. You must be wondering what this place is. You stand in the hall of the Radiant Host, where from where our leadership oversees all of Razahan's military operations. Sundrop, our destination, lies just ahead. Welcome to Sundrop. Without further ado, allow me to introduce you to... Oh, so you're the famous Sidurgu Obsidian Heart, eh? I knew it the moment you stepped through the door. You've the look of one who's walked through hell. Shirabat, please. You are speaking to the Satrap's honored guest and a savior of our people. Can you not show a modicum of respect? What disrespect is there in paying a fellow warrior a compliment? We're all friends here, or will be soon enough. More formally, then, for the benefit of my countrymen, it is a pleasure to have you with us, O great champion of Eorzea, scion of the Seventh Dawn, warrior of light, and all-around good egg, I'm sure. She's so cute. This talk of eggs reminds me I'm late for dinner. A man after my own heart. I like that. She's flirting so hard with him. She is really cute though. Don't worry. Don't you worry, I'll keep it short. There's just a thing or two we'd like you to remember. First of all, about the room you're standing in now. Razahan welcomes delegates from other lands to oversee trade and diplomatic dealings. Then, there are military matters to discuss, which is why all these officers are stationed here in Sundrop. Sundrop. I imagine you're more than familiar with each of the nations they represent, yes? We've got representatives from Doma, Ulda and Alamigo, Limsa Lominsa, Gridania, and last, but never let it said least, Ishgard. They're the eyes, ears, and mouths that bridge the gap between Razahan and their respective homelands. We've used this brief respite to share the details of our plight with our overseas counterparts. And wouldn't you know it, all of their leaders requested a few words from you specifically. You're a man in high demand, eh? And so, would you mind regaling us with your own account? Indulge us before you indulge yourself. I thank you for the report. The conditions under which men are turned to beasts, the etheric anomalies you have observed, you have given us much to consider. It is concerning that the first transformation apparently occurred before the skies turned red. 'Tis contrary to what one would expect. Thankfully, the information you conveyed to Lucia upon your return from the moon has already proved invaluable. As soon as reports of the calamity here in Thavnir reached the Grand Company of Eorzea and our Far Eastern allies, our leaders knew at once that the final days were indeed upon us. They began taking steps to assess the extent of the phenomenon's spread. Our agents were able to confirm that for the time being, the skies burn only over the Bounty, including this island and Corvos. Alas, that is of little comfort. All throughout allied lands, there have been reports of people transforming into hideous beasts. From what little we have learned, these incidents are similar in nature to that involving the merchant Kalzal. As was the case here, the victims underwent the change prior to the heavens being set ablaze. And so, while the burning skies have yet to manifest beyond the Bounty, the transformations do not appear to be subject to any similar restriction. If anyone anywhere overcome by despair can turn, then nowhere is safe. That's about the size of it. Speaking of which, we ought to give these creatures a name, don't you think? Here in Razahan, we've taken to calling the first to change, which tends to be the biggest, blasphemies. As fitting a name as any, to ensure clarity in future communications, we shall urge our comrades to adopt this terminology. Our leaders have taken measures to deal with the threat to the best of our abilities. Each nation has assembled their own groups of elite soldiers to put down these so-called blasphemies and their spawn as and when they appear. At the same time, they are doing all in their power to put the people's minds at ease and prevent panic and fear from spreading. That said, brave souls with the strength and fortitude to fell these terrible fiends are not easily found. Just so, and it is for that reason we turn to you. Pray, lend us your strength and help us to slay these blasphemies that plague our homelands. And Sid's like, fuck. These people. Now, you don't have to give your reply before dinner. I should also mention that each blasphemy seems to possess wildly different characteristics. What works well against one may serve you poorly against another. Bef- so before you go rushing off to save everyone's day, have a word with the delegates. They'll tell you what to expect. And with that, I do believe our friend here has a feast to attend. Spare thought for us when you're tucking into all that fine cuisine, eh? It really was. He was like, ugh, can't believe these people are asking me knowing that I can't refuse. Pray forgive Shir about her rudeness. She can be a bit boisterous at times, but it is simply her nature. Anyway, my apologies for keeping you from your hard-earned rest. You'll be rejoining your companions, yes? Do you know the way to the Mayhan? I know Razahan like the back of my hand. Glad to hear you're becoming familiar with our fair city. You'll be pleased to hear that all drinks are on the house, so order whatever suits your fancy. And with that, I must return to my post. On behalf of all the Radiant host, I thank you and your friends once more for lending your strength and courage to Razahan in our time of need. We shall endeavor to fight the good fight to the end, that we may honor Ahawan's legacy and serve Master Veecher well. You have my word that your efforts will not be in vain. Anyway, time to ignore all of that. And we are going to continue MSQ. Look at all these nerds. Forgive me for not waiting to make a toast. My throat was utterly parched. I'm overdue for a good meal. The threat here has been quelled, but our job has only begun. I know I must eat to regain my strength, but between you and me, I don't have much of an appetite. Good, you can join us. Milil over there will be happy to take your order. How was your meeting with the Radiant? I would love to hear more. I will say that kebab does look really good. And so does the curry. Little tiny baby child. She sits like she has scoliosis. Thancred is also very short. Oh, look at him. I still don't understand why they retconned his eye. Remember back in Heavensward? He had one of his eyes lose color, and he lost sight in that because of the flow when Y'shtola dragged him into the live stream with her. And then he got a scar over that eye as well. I don't know why they got that rid of. They got rid of that after Shadowbringers. It feels like such an unnecessary change in his character. Welcome. When the satrap asked us to entertain a party of honored guests, I was wondering who it might be. This is a lovely surprise, to say the least. By the way, I heard all about Kalzal from your friend Grahatia. I understand there was nothing that could be done, but I was heartened to hear he meant us no harm. I cannot thank you enough for dispatching the beasts. As a small token of our thanks, your food and drink tonight are Mayreed's treat. Speaking of which, What shall I start you off with? A glass of your finest local spirits, please. As you wish. Pray join your friends and I'll bring you your drink. Yeah. Thancred did indeed have a scar over his eye, and, his eye changed. I could probably find the cutscene for it in the Unending Journey, but it's gonna take me a while to actually find the cutscene with it in. Then again, I guess I could also do New Game Plus, couldn't I? To show that. It's when he had his stupid little rat tail and his little goatee chin beard thing. Welcome back. Whatever did the Radiant want with you, pray tell? Our allies have sent military delegates? That's news to me. Mind sharing the details? Miliel really is very cute. She's just a good girl doing her job. Right? Oh, that's later. It's in just under 2 hours' time. I'm just wasting time until raid. I'll be streaming my prog of Aloe Aloe Island if the rest of my group are fine with it again. We shall see. My baby boy Elizabeth. My favorite character. Time to go back to the first to talk to my little baby. It'll be an opportunity to look in on the others. Thancred just wants to know that his kid is alright. Dad cred, the only cred. I love that Thancred really just went from resident hooer to resident dad in over the span of one expansion. Because even in Stormblood, he was still hoeing it up. He really did mature fast. Though I think Urianger would be like he matured a little bit too slowly. Nothing like a feast to lift the spirits. I trust you enjoyed yourself as well? If the forum truly has been spurred to action by Heidelin's prophecy, then it is not so odd that the anti-tower was entrusted to Master Matoya, who bears them no love. No doubt she has a reason for this, and I would know what it is. Beasts and blasphemies may be running amok in nearby lands outside the influence of Razahan and the Alliance. If so, I may need to go hunting. The final days. How far has the phenomenon spread, and how does it manifest in each land? I must reach out to my friends in each nation and find out all that I can. Me too. Well, I suppose I do feel better on a full stomach. After all, burning skies, blasphemies, not if I have anything to say about it. Now then, is there anything else we've forgotten to mention? Are your arms and armor in good order? In that case, it is time we each tended to our tasks. And when you arrive on the first, give my regards to Reen. Tell her I miss her. Dad cred! Should Reen ask questions, don't hide the truth from her. If anything, see if she has any insights to offer. She is not a child in need of protection, but a comrade we should be willing to rely upon, even if part of me may always beg to differ. You've grown so much, man. So proud of him. Take this, Sidurgu, my spirit vessel. Empty now, of course, but it should allow you to operate the tower systems in the umbilicus. If even the smallest fragment of Elidibus's essence remains, it should be possible to locate it. As for access to the umbilicus, pray, seek out Lena for assistance. Chances are, she still stands watch at the Extensor Gate. Should she, or anyone else ask after me, tell them I'm living my life to the fullest, that I'm happy, hardships and all. Well, we'd best be on our respective ways. God's willing, we will see each other again ere long. That was not the emote I was intending on using. Anyway, time for us to head to the Crystarium. Where is Lena? Extensor Gate. Oops, forgot about that. Don't want to accidentally get banned because of stuff he put on, stuff people put in the chat. Sidurgu, you are returned. Have you been well? You and the others? Yeah, Sidurgu's on Dynamis. He's on Seraph specifically. We've no shortage of troubles, but we're well enough. Then things are much the same for you as they are here. My lord is doubtless enjoying himself. He said this to you? These exact words? Oh, to know that he is happy. It fills my heart with joy. Thank you, Sidurgu, for taking care of him. When next you see him, please, tell him not to exert himself. Overexert himself, futile request though it is. And tell him that all is well here. The peace you gifted us continues, and we work hard to build lives for ourselves. In the course of this, we occasionally bicker, but we've never been more optimistic for the morrow. If I had to mention one dilemma, it would be the question of our governance. Even as we speak, debate rages on over how we should run the city in the Exarch's absence. Most are of a mind that the Settlement Council should continue to oversee the general running of the Crystarium, while representatives are elected to determine policy and handle diplomacy. Thus far, nothing is set in stone, but however we choose to proceed, we will not replace our lord. No one could. Yeah, Lena is a really good kid. She's definitely one of the strongest characters in Shadowbringers, like one of the most compelling characters. Have you recently observed any unusual phenomena? No, I cannot say there have been. Curious that you should ask me this question, though. Some days ago, Reen came and asked the very same. She was rather unsettled, in stark contrast to how cheerful she has been of late. Reen has been dedicating herself to the restoration of the empty, you see. Though it will take many long years, the goal seems to have given her a newfound sense of purpose and fulfillment. So when I saw her in a state of such worry, I couldn't help but feel worried in turn, especially since she wouldn't tell me what troubled her. I dare say she would be more willing to confide in you. May I ask you to broach the subject with her? You wish to enter the umbilicus? Very well. I shall fetch the key at once, and take the opportunity to find Reen. Please, wait for me in the city, in front of the Cabinet of Curiosity, shall we say? I will be along as soon as I can. I forget if I've done Eden on Sudoku. I'm not sure if I have, honestly. Cabinet of Curiosity. There we go. Enter a really long cutscene where I have to wait and talk to people. Do my old eyes deceive? Is that truly Sudoku? Hello, Moren and Becklug. Ha! It is! Full glad am I to see you hale and whole, my friend. If there's one thing I can be proud of, it's my memory of most of the lore and characters in Final Fantasy XIV. That is my one thing I can be proud of these days. What a wonderful surprise it is to have you back with us, and at this most opportune time. In case you haven't heard, we are planning to produce a tome chronicling events from the Flood to the Knight's Return. For this project, we intend to draw upon records kept by the world's peoples. Historical and contemporary first-hand accounts will be the centerpiece of this tome, but yours will be the one to crown them all. I've been asked to contribute a chapter on the soul, a subject that is key to understanding much of your endeavors. In the course of developing the spirit vessel, I gained valuable insights into travel beyond the rift, knowledge that will allow me to attest to your existence and deeds. There is no end to the questions I would ask you, but if you could indulge me in just one for now. In your quest to restore the night, you faced many a formidable foe. Among them, who offered you the greatest struggle? For Cid? For Sidurgu, I think Hades or Elidibus would have been the most difficult for him to face. More in terms of the morality than the actual difficulty of the fight. So I'm going to go Hades for now. Ah, yes. Hades, he who sought to resurrect his ancient brethren. He was the final obstacle in your quest to restore the night. Your battle in the depths of the tempest. The stuff of legends. Epics. Same thing. Yet compelling as it is, I worry that mere words wouldn't do justice to that fateful confrontation. Not that we would think to omit it entirely, of course. No, at the very least, we will impress upon the the readers, that it was the climax of your hero's journey. I know you would love to talk his ear off, Morin, but we really should be on our way. Those documents from Yulmore won't collect themselves. Of course, and afterwards, would you care to join me for tea? I was hoping you might clarify a few points in your treatise. Till next time, then, do tell the others to look after themselves. Our overzealous friend in particular. Remind him not to overexert himself, again and again, till his ears fall off, if that is what it takes for him to take it to heart. I love the Numo. They are good dogs. Very good doggies. Is that the Warrior of Darkness? Hello, Richie Tio and friends. It's him, it's really him. What are you doing here? If you're going to battle, I can give you some medicine. I made it myself. Best not, Richie. You'll only give him a stomach ache. We've come to see Morin, to get his advice. One of the guard finally agreed to teach us how to fight, but first we need to choose a fighting style. While I know I want to be a mage, Arkiel isn't sure. Magic isn't really my thing, so I was thinking of taking up the axe, or the sword, or maybe the bow. They all seem alright, but it's hard to decide. So I thought I'd ask Morin. He knows a lot. He knows about lots of things. He's like, nah, don't ask him. He's no help. He's a nerd. Doesn't know how to fight. He isn't here? Aww. Ooh, why didn't you have the Warrior of Darkness choose for you? What do you think suits Arkiel the best? Axe, sword, or bow? For protecting your friends, the sword. The sword? If you took up the sword, you could be just like Brandon. The Warrior of Light. I love that tale. Let's borrow the book today. It's really popular, though. I hope it's still there. Thanks for helping me decide Warrior of Darkness. I'll start with that style, and maybe try something else later on. And when I get really strong, I hope to have a bout with you. Turns out this is going to be the protagonist of Final Fantasy 18. 17. Arkiel, Warrior of Light. Savior of the realm. Such fun he's been having basking in the adoration of musty old bookworms and wide-eyed younglings, but does he spare a thought for me? Of course not. Like I said, the one thing I'm proud of is my knowledge of the lore. I waited and waited and waited, but he won't so much as acknowledge the presence of this beautiful branch, even though they're right here. Such a heartless thing our sapling is. Cold and cruel and heartless. Does she have more important things to do, Your Majesty? I've no end of important tasks to attend to, but unlike some, I know what my priorities should be. And since when did my sapling become a twisted old tree that says such unkind things? But disappointed as I am, I'll overlook it this once. I know you have a lot on your mind right now. I love Feoul. They're great. So, my adorable sapling, the world is on the verge of destruction, isn't it? How do I know this? Joined as we are, spying on you is as simple as sliding down the back of a rainbow. Would that I could help you in your quest, but the fate of we Fey folk is bound to that of the star. Whither it goes, so too do we follow. Such is our way. The most I could do for you is spare the pain by gifting you the sweetest of eternal dreams. But if escape's not to your liking, then you must struggle with your fellow mortals. Ah, but here are the ones you are waiting for. I wonder what manner of conclusion awaits at Tale's End. Bye, Feoul. Goldfish memory is great, though. It means you can experience things all over again, like it's new. I have goldfish memory on stuff that isn't games. So basically everything outside of video games, I just don't remember a single thing. My apologies for the delay. Sidurgu, it is so wonderful to see you again. You doubtless have much catching up to do, so I shall leave you to it. I've taken the liberty of unlocking the umbilicus, and you may enter at your leisure. Thanks, Lena. Bye, Lena. I am relieved to hear that everyone is well. I've had this feeling, like a pit in my stomach, and I was afraid that something might have happened. Maybe I'm overthinking things, but it's just that I am the Oracle of Light, but I have never spoken with Heidelin, not once heard her call. Even so, I've always had this feeling deep inside me, a connection to something immense. These past few days, though, that connection has wavered, as if that immense something was distant, then close, then distant again. And then the other night, I was jolted awake by the feeling it had been completely severed. Wanting some fresh air, I went to open the window, and to my horror, the sky was ablaze, like during the star shower. But then I blinked, and everything was normal. The next day, no one said a thing. No one else had seen what I had seen. As far as I could tell, nothing was out of the ordinary. I began to wonder if it was a figment of a half-remembered dream. Sidurgu, what are you not telling me? I have to know, please. It doesn't matter how terrible it is. Well, you asked for it, kid. World's dying. World's ending. Final days are happening. People are turning into monsters. End of story. Also, Thancred says hi. It wasn't my imagination then. The doom we witness in Amarot has come again. I can't believe it. Like I told you before, all is well here in the First. So don't worry about us, please. Look only to the threat before you. We're fine right now. And even if we weren't, we've learned how to survive. Should the final days reach here as well, you may be assured we won't go quietly. No, we'll hold on until you can find a way to save all our worlds. So long as you continue your fight, so too will we, united in purpose beneath a blazing sky. She's such a good kid. So many of the characters in Final Fantasy XIV are just so good. You're headed to the Umbilicus to consult with Elidibus, right? I'll do some consulting of my own and speak with Lena. Decide how we might best prepare for the final days. So, it's farewell for now, but we'll see each other again. I'm certain of it. We lived through the flood and the tyranny of the Light Wardens. We are survivors. Do what you need to do, and know that we will too. Yeah, I don't think I've done Eden on him. So, there's no Gaia. Such sadness. Speaking of, I love that the latest Tales has confirmed that Gaia and Mitron were lesbian lovers back in the times of ancient. It's great. and I love that. It sucks that they tucked it in the tails, but better than nothing. Yeah, Metron and Gaia were confirmed to be female. Both of them are female during the time of Ancients. And Metron and Gaia were confirmed to be lovers in their sundered forms. So yeah, long story short, they're lesbians, Harold. It's time for my boy. It's time for my baby boy to show up. My little baby. You know that I have him as one of my alts. My little baby. Look at him. Look at my tiny little man. Actually, I don't have him as a retainer for my main. Because the retainers I made for my main, I made long before I ever encountered Elidibus. So, yeah. However, if I ever buy the retainer service, I definitely am going to make like 50 different versions of him. Yeah. He is so cute. He's like, no, don't thank me. I'm just doing my duty. Yeah, the To the Edge is definitely one of the best background musics for fights. I will say, It's very interesting to spot the differences in how the English voice actor and the Japanese voice actor convey his personality. With the English voice actor, he sounds so resigned and very matter of fact, but the Japanese voice actor has him seem a lot more whimsical and a lot more lighthearted, which is it's just an interesting thing to note the differences between the two. He's very gentle. His heart is full of his duty and love for his fellow people. He is so tiny. I want to pick him up and throw him. It's the cuteness generated aggression in me. I want to grab him, shake him, throw him, suplex him, break his back. If we translated his height to real life heights, I believe he's like 170 centimeters tall, which in feet is it's 5'6". He's a short man, a little man. He's a tiny little man. I say short, but that's like average height. At least in Asia, that's average height. He'd be short for a Western person. You're 5'6" as well, I'm guessing? Well, I'm shorter than that. I'm like 5'3", I think, in American. I'm 160 cm. I don't know what that actually is in American. 5'7" on a good day. Yeah. Just stand with your back straight. Get on your tiptoes. Might be able to hit 6 feet. High heels and platform boots are the only way to survive in a world that's tall. A little babe, I would entrust you with everything that I could. Square Enix already has all of my money. I have little else to offer. It is almost time. See that? In Japanese, he sounds really amused and actually happy, but in English, he just sounds really resigned. I kind of prefer the Japanese version because of that. It just fits in with his personality from what we know in canon. He's lived a long life. It is time for him to sleep. I do love this sequence. The callback to Shadowbringers is really, really fun. A little bye-bye. A little bye, a little babe. And here we are, an LPP. Yeah, same. The Elpis sequence was really, really good. LPP. Tiny little man has become a littler man. Transcending the boundary between existence and nihility. Amazing. Oh, time to block that again. Can you hear me? I can see up your nose. For sure. This person looks so much like Yotsuyu though. Like the eye color, the hair color, the hairstyle. She looks a lot like Yotsuyu. And I'm wondering if that was intentional. It is time. It is time. It is time to meet the best boy. And his wife. I love this part. Look at the best boy.
Hythlodaeus was supposed to be just your average layman, but then they made him so funky, so fruity, and he is amazing. But yeah, it's Hythlodaeus and his wife, Hades. I love that. He's just like, if I ignore it, it will go away. Mood. If you just ignore your sleep paralysis demon, it'll go away. By the way, fun fact. Did you know that the color of your soul is supposedly blue? You learn this if you go through the Black Mage quests. So canonically, Azem's soul color is blue. Who do you take me for, says Hades. Oh, they are so married. Either that or they're very, very good friends. Do you ever just wonder who designed the Dark Knight outfit, by the way? Because I feel like the red crosses over the nipples were a little bit unnecessary. Like, was that necessary? He looks like he's ready to go to the strip club. The strip club for demons. I'm glad that you'll never unsee it. I will no longer be the only person thinking about it. I love that he says we, like it wasn't just him. Hades is so sick of Hythlodaeus' shit. I love this. It's so pretty. I wonder who that could be. It's just a woman and her dog. In case you didn't know, it's rude to stare. Stop. This is hardly my first time here, but the scenery never fails to take my breath away. Why, it feels as if you could reach out and touch the heavens. Now then, to begin the guided tour. Maybe you already know these things, but for the sake of thoroughness, I shall start with the basics. Using concepts to give shape to ether, creation magics allow us to bring forth anything we desire, be it inanimate objects or living beings. Anyone may conceive of concepts, but they must all undergo evaluations at the Bureau of the Architect. As part of that process, living beings and certain arcane entities may be sent here to Elpis for an in-depth observation and study. A fascinating facility, isn't it? I dare say you will enjoy touring it with us. Now then, our friend Hermes. Aside from overseeing the facility, he also conducts his own research. Chances are he'll be at the main observation hub, so let us seek him out there first. You're gonna lurk for a sec? Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna be starting prog in about an hour's time, so I might take a break in about 30 minutes time, just before prog. Just as a heads up. Attired as you are, however, you stand out a little too much. Our dear Emmett Silk wishes to keep a low profile for his errand, so... Do you know how to make a robe? The basic concept will do. No? In that case, Emmett Silk. No. Your whim, your responsibility. You're not getting another thimble of ether out of me. The way he scrims sometimes, you'd think he wasn't a nigh bottomless font of magic. Very well. I shall make the robe, but perhaps you can assist. Come, let us search for the requisite material. No means no. Just be grateful I'm even willing to wait. He's such an angry little man. Why are you so upset, Who pissed in your cereal? Yes, these creatures should suffice. An etheric rope. I want you to use it to capture, shall we say, 2 petaludi. There are 3 species here, I believe. Any 2 different kinds should serve. Now, I should mention that the strength of the rope is tied, no pun intended, to the strength of its user. As your ether is still thin compared to ours, you'll need to weaken the petaludi first. Good luck! Remember, it's a pair of petaludi we require. Any 2 kinds should suffice. These ads. I also just realized I haven't fixed his settings, since that's like showing up on my screen. Where is it? Target. No, it should be under general. Fixed. And there we go. Yep, that's nicer. You've caught the Petuludi? Come, come, let us see. Oh god, why is that all the way over there? Ah! No! I didn't mean to press that. There, it's ready. It's nothing fancy, but then we're trying not to stand out. Try it on for size. You turn living beings into clothing just like that, or won't someone be angry at us for using those creatures? Oh, it's fine. There's no one around to tell us off. And besides, we can always make more Petuludi. They only need a tiny amount of ether. It may take some effort to get the form and composition right, but anyone familiar with the concept should be able to manage. Well, and good to disguise and educated, but it won't fool anyone who can see worth a damn. Fair point, but at the very least, it should spare you unwanted attention from casual observers. Emmett Selk speaks true. Even dressed like us, your unusual nature will be plain to those who think to look. Should anyone question your presence, don't make up excuses, much less try to actually explain what you are. No, best to simply say that you're familiar. The question is, whose? Of course, Azem's. If you say you belong to him, people will give you the benefit of the doubt for any and all outlandish behavior. Exploiting our associate's absence? For lack of his presence, absolutely. Were he here, he would have been first to propose the idea, and you know it. With that, your story is settled. Let us continue with our errand. All three of them are married. Azem, Hythlodaeus, and Hades. Okay, there we go. If you're ready, let us continue along the path to Anagnorisis. The place serves as an observation hub and residence both. Someone there should be able to point us in the direction of Hermes. And before we continue MSQ, actually I'm going to talk to them, then get that attunement, and then get my ether currents. And then I think I'll call it for Sid for the day, and then take a break. Yes, can I help you? We wish to speak with Chief Hermes. Do you know where we might find him? Well, now, by your mask, I assume you're one of the 14. I assume you are one of the 14. I wasn't aware there was to be a visitation. Between you and us, it's something of a surprise. Your discretion in the matter would be appreciated. I see. My lips are sealed. The chief should be out conducting observations as usual. His focus of late has been aquatic creatures, so I expect you will find him at one of the pools here. The pools, you say? Many thanks, and apologies for disrupting your work. I say, Hythlodaeus, while I've never met Hermes, you know him well, do you not? That being the case, Couldn't you simply find him by his ether? Aye, that I could. As you know, Emetzelk and I can discern the color of souls. By the same token, we can also see ether quite cleanly and from great distances. With this skill, I could readily locate Hermes, but I felt that would be a waste of an opportunity. We're here to perform an assessment after all. By searching the ordinary way, we stand to gain insight into Elpis and the man in charge of it. This is as much for your own enjoyment, like as not, but point taken. If you're going to accompany us, make yourself useful and help us look for Hermes. According to his profile, he has short, dark hair. So you know, it's because we're in Elpis that we don't have our cowls up, a special exemption due to the need to be aware of dangerous creatures. Elsewhere, we do not exhibit our individuality. It's unseemly. This is all common sense, but I would not assume you possess any. It's a rare treat indeed to be able to search for someone by their appearance, and I thank you for humoring me. Come, let's find our man. In search for Hermes, we are searching for Hermes. Okay, so we're gonna tune here, grab the aetherites in this area, and then it will be break time. Let's see how many ether currents I can remember off the top of my head. I know there's one over here. Hi, Menandros. Bye, Menandros. I know there's one behind this facility. There we go. Cannot remember if there was one right over there. It might have been the other area that had it between the pillars. Does no harm to check though. Yep, no ether current there. I think there's one up there. Oh, did I remember wrong? There's none here? Whew. For someone who went through Endwalker like 8 times by this point, I need to actually remember this stuff. I know there's an ether on the way over there. On a hill somewhere. Turns out it's not to this hill.
Might be another hill. Oh, right. I think it's right there. Yep, there it is. Okay, so this is 3 ether currents so far. I think there's another 1 or 2 in this area. And the rest are gonna be dotted around up there. And yes, I am being stubborn and not using my ether compass. While this is not a test of my reflexes, it sure is a test of my memory. Okay, it's not between these pillars. I don't think there's one up here somewhere. But it hurts no one to check. There's no more over here? Then where's the one that I missed in this area then? I know there's one over here somewhere. I'm gonna give in ether compass southeast. Oh, so it is there. It's the one between those pillars. I knew I remembered something. Okay, so we have this one. Okay, where's the last one in this area? Northwest. Northwest, 500. That's gonna be the one right there. That one isn't it. Swear there's another in this area though. Northwest, still. Oh, and like a moron, forgot to tune there. Well, I'll be heading there due to MSQ anyway, so I'm not gonna bother. Nordwest. Okay. I think I'm going to call it here for Sid, take a quick break, and then return for Prague. Thanks for joining me for Sid. I'm going to turn the stream off very briefly and then go into a break. Alright.